you guys get to watch me hobble down the stairs. It's not that bad if you go slow. Oh, ow. Old man Brian right here.
I'm not gonna say we're planning something, and I'm not gonna say we're planning nothing. I cannot recall like where this happened. They used the cards that they were dealt, and then they used it to be successful. You know, this is just the situation that I'm in, and I'm gonna learn how to deal with it. I'm gonna learn how to navigate it.
I need to go to the hospital.
I mean this in the nicest way possible. You weren't even missed.
This is not gonna be a fun vlog. I'm at the hospital right now, and I can barely walk. It's like my left or my right lower back and my left foot are like just and because they're on opposite sides of my body, it's like can't put any pressure on my left foot. Every time I put pressure on my right foot, my right lower back hurts. So I'm at the hospital to figure out what's wrong. Super annoyed right now because it just threw me off. It's been painful all week. I haven't really gone to the gym very much. I'm trying to rest, but it's gotten worse. It's really frustrating because like I have a hot seat today for my mastermind and I canceled, and I do not cancel coaching calls. But I keep putting my health second, and that's why it's gotten this bad. Today, I'm putting my health first, and I'm going to the hospital. So that's that. I'm gonna bring you guys with me.
Honestly, with situations like this, I prefer to go in the middle of the night because the lineup is usually 0 people. So I did wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I told Kirsten, like, yo babe, I am like actually like screwed. Like, I'm like, can't put any pressure on the right side of my body because my right lower back, and then I can't use my left foot because my left, like my foot's. So I'm like, I need to go to the hospital, and I ended up not going. And now it's 7 o'clock in the morning and I have this like deep-rooted fear that I'm gonna get into the admitting room and there's gonna be 100 people in there. So I hope that's not the case. But I did drive through Starbucks to pick up a coffee in case that is the case. And I brought headphones. Because usually when I'm at the hospital, you just kind of like go there. And I'm gonna have to be prepared this time. I'm gonna be prepared. 30-year-old man. What the hell's going on? I feel like a grandpa. One, hospitals, stupid masks. It's a stress fracture on my left foot, and she thinks that that is causing the muscular stuff on my lower back. I'm honestly not convinced that it's muscular on my lower back, but honestly didn't really come up with a lot more awareness that way. I thought they were gonna give me an extra on my back. My back is like in just as much pain as my foot is, but yeah, I don't know. I'm super annoyed. And now I gotta walk 2 blocks to my car. It's very frustrating. I do not like being an injured person. It is not a fun experience. Okay, so basically said it's probably gonna be 4 to 6 weeks before it's fully healed. Avoid high impact stuff. Cycling's good, swimming's good. I told her that walking hurts. She said avoid prolonged walking. I'm like, okay. so pretty much don't do anything. Not gonna lie guys, I'm a little bit frustrated. I do not like being injured or like admitting that I'm injured or like even going to the hospital. Like this shit annoys me out of me, but it is what it is. And now I'm gonna learn like a grandpa. Yeah, I'm frustrated. Okay, so your boy is gonna go get some running shoes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna Google running shoes because I need to get shoes that have arch support. Like I've had this situation before in my past. This was like a few years ago, but I had to start wearing shoes that had proper support. And there's not really like, you can't really go to Sport Check to get shoes like that. You kind of have to go to like a specialty running store. So I'm gonna go with it's called OrthoQuest, and we're going there because it opens at 9. So I'm home right now, just drove home, and then I realized that I actually want to go back out because my wife is very sweet and she basically just like stepped in for me while I wasn't feeling very good. So I want to go out and I want to get her some flowers. So I'm gonna go back out and I'm gonna get my wife some flowers, and I'm gonna come back home. Gonna give me some sense of purpose today because probably not gonna do very much today. So this gives me something to do. This is cool. I just need to get some flowers. So this is my bouquet of flowers that I'm gonna give to my wifey for helping out. All right, so now you guys get to watch me hobble down the stairs. Okay, just gotta go. It's not that bad if you go slow. Oh, ow. Can't lead with my left foot though, my lower back hurts. I actually feel like an old man, it's up. Okay, so we're home, middle of the day, and old man Brian right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna eat some eggs just because your boy is a little crippled doesn't mean I'm gonna get fat, okay? I'm gonna eat some eggs and then I'm gonna stretch for 15 minutes. I'm actually gonna look up if you have a freaking sprained joint, like what is good exercises to do for that. So I'm gonna look that up. And then I'm going to do some meditation and then, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So that's my plan for the next little bit. Let's go.
How's everybody doing? Tell me how you guys are doing. Before we start, we're just gonna have a little powwow. How we doing today? How's the day going? PT Dom event in Mexico? Yo, I'm not gonna say we're planning something and I'm not gonna say we're planning nothing, all right? That's all I'm gonna say about that. How does that make you feel, all right? How does that make you feel? Cool. All right, guys, so without further ado, let's just get into this podcast. Let's have some fun. Let's get into this episode in 3, 2, and 1. What is going on, online fitness coaches? Welcome to another episode of the Change Lives, Make Money Online Trainer Podcast. This is the #1 show for online coaches who are trying to grow a successful online business. In today's episode, we're gonna be talking about playing the cards that you are dealt, all right? Playing the cards that you're dealt. Now, this episode is actually recorded significantly later than usual because your boy went to the hospital today. You know, this was obviously one of those situations that's just like not awesome, not optimal. And guys, I had like a full day plan. So first of all, I'm not the type of person that ever cancels anything. Like I never, ever cancel. And today was one of those days where like I had a mastermind call at 10 a.m. PST and I have a lot of new mastermind students that are joining the program as well. And like, it's not just a mastermind call, it's also a hot seat, which is literally one of the most important calls of the month. I want to talk about playing the cards that you're dealt because immediately where my brain went as soon as this happened, I was like, what the f-? You know? Immediately. As soon as it happened, my brain started playing the victim card. It was like, why is this happening to me? And guys, I actually, when I'm thinking back on like my situation, like I cannot recall like where this happened. Like I can't recall a specific incident that this happened. So to think back on my situation, my brain started going like, what the f when this happened? Like, what is me, blah, blah, blah. And so I did play that game in my head for a good 30 minutes. And then I realized, I'm like, there's absolutely nothing I can do about the situation. Like the fact is like, this is the situation that I'm in. It literally does not matter how it happened. It is completely irrelevant. The fact of the matter is that like, I'm in this situation, here I am right now. And there's like, all I can do is move forward and figure out what the solution is. Because I think for like the entire week, you guys, I was like, I think the reason it got so bad to the point where like I have a stress fracture, I literally need to get off my foot for a few days, is because I was like denying that I had a situation going on. I was like, I'm fine. Like, I'm fine. I'll figure it out later. I'm fine, whatever, it doesn't matter. But it's like playing the cards that you're dealt is, I love this concept because I think that we just have to recognize what we have and recognize where we're at and we need to play with those cards. And so today, unfortunately, I ended up canceling my entire day and I ended up literally doing absolutely nothing other than replying to a few DMs. And I'm so grateful for my $1 Million Mastermind coaches. And for those of you guys that are in the $1 Million Mastermind, you got to hear from Kirsten Mark today, Janelle, and all like the $1 Million Mastermind coaches. So we had some people step in my absence. But guys, I think it's super important to understand that no matter what hand you're dealt, like you have to play with that hand, and complaining about it won't make it any better. And I thought about this before I got on the podcast, and I think that this isn't just about stress fracture, sprain, or whatever, but this also applies to every single situation that you guys are in right now. That if you're in a situation right now that isn't awesome, that isn't comfortable, that is unfortunate, instead of complaining about it, you have to play with the cards that you're dealt. And so for me, what that looks like is like if you are in a place where you're like you lost your job, or you're in a place where you're like in a marriage that you're not happy with, or you're in a place where like you are working in a job you absolutely hate. These are all situations that are not awesome. These are all situations that are like extremely stressful. These are all situations that none of us want to be in. But these are all situations that like we have to learn how to play the cards that we're actually dealt. Like when I think about my life versus somebody else's life that was born and raised in a similar environment as me, and like even some of my friends from back when I like knew them from high school, and when I see like a couple of my friends ended up like in jail or like just not in good places, and I always think to myself like, what makes the difference between somebody that like makes it to like the level of success that they do and somebody that doesn't? And I think it does come down to playing the cards that you dealt, like no matter what cards you're dealt, you know? And so like look at your hand and see what you have and then play that hand to the best of your ability. I was talking to Christine Cardenas, one of my $1 Million Mastermind coaches, the other day on the phone, and we were talking about every single student that's hit over $100,000 a month in the coaching program, which right now there's 7. There's 7 students in the $1 Million Mastermind that have hit over 100K a month. And every single student in the $1 Million Mastermind, one of the things that Christine said, she was like every single student that hit over 100K like has something special. They have something special. And then I was like, well, yeah, that's true, but every single student that's hit over 100K has something special and they used it to be successful. Like as an example, like my client Janelle Wheel, like she's got an incredible story. She's lost 450 pounds and she utilized that story to be successful. And that's why Janelle Wheel literally has more clients than I do, right? And so even like Maverick Willett, like as soon as he joined the coaching program, he hit 20,000. It was like a month later, he hit $20,000 a month. This guy's like got like a crazy chiseled physique. He's got like this, like an amazing like look for marketing, and he used it to be successful to like hone in on a niche market. Chad Morgan has got some of like the best energy I've ever seen. Like he's like, when Chad Morgan gets on camera, like people feel like magnetized towards him. And so all of these people that I feel like Brett and Amy Webster, they've been online coaches for like 9 years. And so they utilize all of that experience to their advantage to be successful. Don Lamb has been an online coach for 8 years. So it's like they use the cards that they were dealt and then they used it to be successful. And I think that all of us really need to take a look at what cards we have and how we can play them to the best of our ability. And like guys, sometimes the cards that you have aren't fun, right? Like today having to go to the hospital at 6 o'clock in the morning was not a fun experience. But those are the cards that I currently had. And so I was like, okay, well, I have to deal with the situation, right? Like I have to figure this out with like what I have right now. And obviously it's like not what I wanted. Like I would like to have a pair of pocket aces, but right now 2 and a 3 offsuit. So you have to like learn how to play with those cards. I want this to be a message for anybody that's experiencing some sort of adversity right now, and you're struggling with it. Like if you're in the middle of adversity and you're struggling with it, I think one of the biggest mistakes that you can make is sitting in it, complaining about it, and wondering why you. Because that was what I caught myself doing today. I caught myself being like, woe is me, like, of course this happened, like it always happens, blah, 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 my back hurts, this and that. I wasn't there for the mastermind and I'm a bad coach and blah, 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 you know, woe is me pity party. But it's like, the truth is like, if you're dealing with a situation or you're dealing with some adversity, the worst thing that you can do is like magnify that with like your thought patterns. Instead, just like recognize the situation that you're in and just play the cards that you're dealt, period. And like move through it. And this too shall pass. Like obviously it's not optimal for me to have a stress fracture in my foot, but it's also not the end of the world. Right? I could have like a broken foot or a broken leg, right? And so it's like understanding. And even I thought about this as I was walking out of the hospital, like I was like, no matter how bad it is, like it can always get worse. Like there's always somebody that has a worse situation than I do. And so it's just like getting out of this like whole like pity party, the world revolves around me, and just like remembering that like, you know, this is just the situation that I'm in and I'm gonna learn how to deal with it. I'm gonna learn how to navigate it. So that's it. That's all. Learn how to play the cards that you are dealt. That is the message for today. Shameless plug, I almost forgot. If you guys haven't subscribed to me on YouTube yet, what are you doing? Get on it. I'm dropping an episode every single day. I'm actually recording for my YouTube right now. Everybody say hi, YouTube. Hope you guys have the best day of your entire life, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace. On a scale of 1 to 10, tell the vlog if you liked your flowers or not.
10.
How much did you like them?
10.
I went to get flowers for you.
I thought you didn't like when I talk on your vlog, so it's too overpowering.
No, I just think, I don't say I don't like it. I just think it's funny that every time I turn the camera on, you're like, hey.
I'm tired today.
You like the camera?
What do you want to do for our date night tonight?
Well, I don't really have a lot of options because I need to rest. I've been resting all day and I actually feel good. I actually don't know if I feel good because I took 5 Advil or because I've been resting.
Advil, you did this yesterday. We need to, yeah.
Yeah, so I actually did do this yesterday. It was like I took a bunch of Advil and then at night I was like, oh, I actually feel really f***ing good. I'm like, shit. And I was like walking around and stuff. And then in the middle of the night I went to pee and I was like, I need to go to the hospital. So
Yeah, he was like crying on the bathroom floor.
dude, I was not okay. I was crawling. I sprained a lumbar region spine, and then I also have a stress fracture in my foot. It's one thing in my upper body and one thing in my lower on either side.
I understand.
Okay? Not fun. It sucks. So one of the stipulations that the doctor gave me is that I gotta wear these freaking shoes. They're like arch support shoes, but turns out I actually love the way they look. So it's not too bad. Hey? Hey? Turns out they're actually not too bad. Ow, my back. So I'm all about them. So it's not that bad. It's gonna be all right. All right, guys. Well, that is kind of the end of the work day. I didn't really do a lot of work. Today was more of putting
together and seeing what it looks like kind of day. I definitely like did not have a day that that was definitely not what I was expecting. Once I got done at the hospital, I came home, rested pretty much for the rest of the day. And then I did a podcast where I talked about playing the cards you're dealt. And I think that for me, I was I was not happy with getting injured, and I was really frustrated, but it's also something that I can't control. And so I tried not to spend a lot of time complaining about it, ruminating on it, what was me, etc. Like, obviously it's not fun, but it's also like, it's just a situation that I had to deal with. And so I did my best to kind of like drop how I felt emotionally about it and just deal with the situation and like play the cards that I was dealt, instead of like creating this big story in my head about how this sucks and it's not fair and blah, blah, blah. Like, I tried to really stay away from that and just be like, okay, so my back doesn't feel good. And so what do I need to do in order to fix it? Like, kind of just thinking like rationally and logically versus like emotionally. And yeah, that's it. We're at the end of the day, I'm super grateful because, I have a super strong team of $1 Million Mastermind coaches. And I called Cole right after the $1 Million Mastermind call, and he's like, dude, I love you to death, but I mean this in the nicest way possible. You weren't even missed. And that to me is so cool because I feel like I've just created this culture and this like community of people that are just supporting each other, have each other's backs, but are also very interested and very hungry and growing and reaching the next level. So such a cool experience, and it's such a cool thing to be a part of. I also did get a fire lit in me because I have like this once you're at the top of the mountain, it's pretty like, you just don't really get like, it's harder to be 100% like inspired and motivated all the time. But I saw something today that inspired and motivated me. So I was like, all right, I'm ready to step up. So we're gonna continue grinding. We're gonna continue pushing. Peach Domination is not even close to getting started. We still have about 35 more hundred students to go before we reach our vision, which is on my wall. So I'm gonna walk you guys through that on the next video, actually, the vision that's on my wall. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you got some value. The number one piece of actionable advice for today's vlog is to play the cards that you're dealt. It's not always gonna be awesome. It's not always gonna be in your favor, and they're not always gonna be good cards, but you just have to play the cards that you're dealt and keep moving forward. Peace, love, protein, have the best of your entire life. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and chase your dreams. Let's go.